Welcome to the Any Key Video Show, the place and platform for indie creatives. I'm your host, Kenny Any Key Moore. This is a new artist spotlight music episode. My guest has a new single that's about to come out. But before we start the show, would you do two things for me? First, go like and subscribe to the Minds of Creativity YouTube channel so you can check out the rest of the content and get alerts when new shows are available. Second, subscribe to my YouTube channel at coach_ANYKENY and follow me on social media at coach_ANYKENY on X, TikTok, and Instagram so you can check out other episodes of the show and keep up with the rest of the stuff that I'm doing. All right, my guest is ready. I'm ready. So let's start the show. Now joining me is Alecia Garrick, Dr. Alecia Garrick, I'm sorry. She's an artist, author, and pastor from the Columbia, South Carolina area. She has published a book, built and established a church, and has shared the stage with legends like the pastor John P. Key, and has been mentored by the legend Helen Baylor. She has a new single that's about to come out, so let's bring her on to talk about it. Alecia, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on. How are you doing?
All is well. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So whenever anybody's on with me for the first time, I always ask them this question to start the interview. And the
Okay.
question is this. Tell me your earliest memory or the moment that you fell in love with music.
Oh, I fell in love with music when I was little, maybe about 3 years old. My father sings quartet, so I kind
Okay,
of fell in love with the love of music. Yeah.
gotcha. So that which makes sense because I could hear it in your sound, right? So you are mentored by the great Helen Baylor. So can you tell me um, one of your favorite memories of working with her?
During my earlier years, so that was maybe about 2005. I did a compilation CD which came out in 2008. So in 2008, I was able to redo one of her songs called "The
Okay,
Best Yet to Come." So that
yes,
was featured on my last album, Seasons. So yeah, and then I started working with her, and got a chance to meet her, fellowshipping with her, and attending a lot of her events, and you know, just being there in support. And one in particular I can remember is was here in Columbia, South Carolina at Bible Way Church of Atlas Road. But that's been quite some time ago. Um, During my singing, again, I started pastoring in 2012. So after that, I kind of, lost the zeal to sing
really.
and to build. Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess I can kind of understand how that would happen because the responsibility of the church is so great that I guess that can tend to overshadow everything else that you're doing.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so of course, you worked with and were mentored by the great Helen Baylor. Tell me some of your other vocal influences, or any of your vocal influences besides her.
Well, but I guess because of the register, I kind of geared to more contraltos, altos. Um, of course, Helen was, primary in the gospel industry, but in the R&B industry, it would have been people like Sarah Vaughan,
Okay,
um, yeah, jazz, as well as Anita Baker,
sure.
Gladys Knight, Tony Braxton. Those people, had that lower register, that contralto register that identified with who I was, during that time.
That makes sense. I can hear some of that in your
Yeah.
sound. All right, so you got a new single that's coming, and we're gonna talk about it right on the other side of this quick break. Everybody, stay tuned.
Thing on? Can you see me out there? All right, bet. Hey everyone, Day here, CEO of Day's Palette, and I am beyond thrilled to share some exciting news with you all about the next chapter for Day's Palette. What began as a makeup artistry has grown into something much deeper, a reflection of God given purpose. When I sat and really thought about the deeper meaning behind Day's palette, I saw it as my palette, and each color on my palette represents all the many talents that God has blessed me with. While a major part of my palette is still enhancing the beauty that already exists through makeup and hair artistry, this is an extension of that mission. But it's not just for me. We all have a palette of gifts designed to glorify Him. So for my current and future clients, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. You can breathe. Today, I am excited to announce the launch of Day's Palette apparel and accessories. This extension is more than just fashion, it's a message. Each piece is created to encourage you to reflect on your own gifts, your palette, and how you can use them to help strengthen God's kingdom. It's time to embrace our God-given gifts and bring color, light, and purpose to the world. Thank you in advance for all of your support. Stay tuned for daily updates, and I cannot wait for you to see what we have in store on this new journey at Day's Palette.
The online store is now open. So if you use code AKVS7, again, that's AKVS7, you will save 5% off of your order. Go to DAIS palette, PALLETT LLC.printify.me. Again, that's DAIS PALLETTE slash dash llc.printify.me to get your day's palette apparel and accessories. All right, we are back with Dr. Alecia Garrick, and I had an opportunity to hear a little bit of your new single, Tried
Okay.
in the Fire.
Try in the fire. Yes.
It has a real traditional churchy sound, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me the inspiration behind Tried in the Fire and then how it was created.
Well, I have been sitting on this song for quite some time. I want to say maybe about 11 years or more.
Wow,
And I really didn't understood, I guess, what all was happening then that would have the song, even my life, to be tried by fire. So I went through a great season of being tried, being tested, and just surviving. It talks about survival and talks about coming out. That you may go in, one way, but you won't come out smelling like smoke. So this song definitely has definition to my life and has added to my testimony about my life, just being tried by the fire of adversity, the fire of temptation, the fire of, it's just so many different facets I can go into. But
sure, sure.
these are areas that, that would have been a test of faith, you know, and staying strong in the midst of adversity. For some of us, that's kind of hard to do
Sure.
when you're faced with adversity. You're looking at adversity face to face, eye to eye. It's kind of hard to remain encouraged, be it the death of a loved one, loss of a job, or, whatever, or relationship. Things begin to change our focus. And
Sure,
sometimes you
sure.
can give more attention to the thing than God. I like to always say that the God that was with you on the mountaintop is the same God that was with you in the valley, but oftentimes we only know him when it's at the mountaintop peak.
That's
And
real,
we tend to forget about him in the valley seasons, or that's when our faith is being tried. That's when our faith is being tested.
for sure.
Yeah.
So you said that this song was, 12 years ago, kind of in the vault. What made you decide to pull it out and release it now?
I think after going through and enduring, um, I believe that, of course, the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but to the one that endureth until the end. And this definitely sums up endurance and also perseverance.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So shout out any of your collaborators that help with the production of the song.
So I want to give a shout out to original producer, which was Vincent Sanders. God rest his soul. He's rest in peace. We That's what took me kind of like a long time, because he actually it was a rebirth concert that I had that he actually created majority of the music for that, and because of that loss from him, that kind of pushed me, even further back. And then it was recreated by a producer here in Columbia, Micah Blandon.
Okay.
And again, once he sent it to me, we still had to go back and forth with it. And it had got to the point where I had lost interest, and then other
Um,
things happened. And then, just recently, maybe less than a month ago, I just was listening to it, and I was like, you know what? I definitely have lived this song through. I
mm,
definitely have lived this song through. So I feel like it is definitely created for such a time as this.
very good.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, based off of what I heard, uh, sonically, it has that church feel to it. It has that church sound to it. And then once your vocals start cutting through, uh, it definitely it definitely will inspire and definitely will encourage people. So everybody, uh, make sure you get it when it comes out. So
Yeah.
let's as we get ready to wrap up, tell my audience when the single is coming. Tell
Okay.
them how they can connect and follow you on social media, and then also shout out your church, and then tell people how they can visit you there.
Okay, thank you so much. So the single will drop on Juneteenth. Um, and of course, it is tried in the fire. It will be available on all streaming platforms, your Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes, etc. You can also follow me on Facebook at Alecia Garrick. Um, Also, Dr. Alecia Garrick or Alecia Garrick Ministries on Facebook. You can also follow me on IG under Dr. Alecia Garrick. If you want to follow me on TikTok, I think it's TikTok is might be Dr. Alecia Garrick. I can't recall, but IG I think is Alecia Garrick Live. So those are ways to actually contact me through social media. We also have a booking number. Um, we can post that a little bit later once we get everything solidified and things kind of, wrapped up on our end, um, as we prepare for the rollout. So, yes, follow me. This has been a very trying time. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can emphasize and really take heart to the song and have a new appreciation for it. But thank you
Absolutely,
so much.
absolutely. Shout out your church. Give your church information.
Kingdom Harvest is located in Hopkins, South Carolina, but we're moving into mobile ministry. So that will be more evangelistic and outreach, more so than just brick and mortar.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did want to touch on that a little bit before we go.
Okay.
Can you kind of talk about what spurred you to move in this direction, and then also talk in a little more detail in terms of what you guys will be doing in terms of ministry, because I think it's a really interesting concept and a very innovative way to do ministry.
Yes, initially I started evangelistic work. I worked in the prison and the school system.
Okay,
So I would go to, the convalescent home, the prison, as well as the women's shelter. I used to do conferences called Virtuous Women Fellowship that featured a particular homeless shelter here, women's shelter, that we used to cater to those young ladies, provide clothing, help with job placement, help with um, housing and, bills and all that kind of stuff. So that
great,
was my initial passion. And I kind of, moved away from that once I started building the church, because it kind of, had people drawn to the sound and the message of encouragement. So, but from that, We went into the development and purchasing property in my local area, which is Hoffman, South Carolina. But recently, have been feeling a earning and a burning to minister to those that are lost and those that are in need of a savior. Those that, um, it's just bringing the gospel where they are. More like
Yes,
pop up
yes,
services,
yes. Okay.
serving. A lot of people do back to school, but I want to do, going back to going to college, being there for parents to help them during that time, because there's some last minute things that they can forget. It's just, just the matters of the heart, because I believe what comes from the heart reach the heart. So just being
Yes,
a tool, a vessel, that will provide encouragement. As I said, pop-up services, convalescent homes, prison, and the shelters. So that's where we be known, feeding, different places and providing substance, whatever the need is. I believe that Jesus, before he introduced them to who he was, he met the need. So,
yes,
and
yes,
that's what I am driven by. I've been drawn to, and been, instead of sitting waiting on brick and mortar and waiting for people to come in, this is a chance to reach people where they are, and whatever that looks like.
yeah. I think that's great because, um, well, one, because especially nowadays, there's kind
Hmm.
of been a negative connotation or a negative stigma associated with the church. So a lot of people are not, to your point, are not coming through the
Not
church
coming.
doors
Yeah,
because of the negative stigmatism and connotation that's been
yeah,
associated with the church. So the fact that you're going to meet them where they are, I just think that that's a
yeah.
tremendous thing, and I think it's a needed thing and a necessary thing. So
Yeah,
I really,
it's far few in between. Like I said, it's not reaching the masses. It's just reaching the multitude. You know,
yes, yes,
changing the world one at a time.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Because let's be honest, there's some people that just are not going to ever, they may not ever come
not
through a church door just
yes.
because whether it's church hurt or just again how they feel about the church and the things that have been said about the church, blah blah blah. They're just not going to come through the church door.
Mm-hmm.
So you going to them and mobilizing the ministry, I think is great. That pop up service just sounds like a super dope
Yeah.
concept. I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just keep us in prayer. It's something
Absolutely.
new and innovative, something that God has birthed in my spirit. I've been pastoring 12 years, it'd be 13 in August. So, instead of celebrating the 13th year in our building, then we're going to be reaching out to the community.
I love it. I love it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So again, you said that the single comes out on Juneteenth. Is that right?
Yes. Juneteenth.
Single drops on Juneteenth everywhere, digitally, and where you get your music. So everybody, make sure on Juneteenth, while you're celebrating and while you're enjoying each other and family and friends, make sure you go download and go stream and go get that tried in the fire.
Yes,
Uh,
because we as a culture has been tried by the fire of adversity.
100%. And with
Yes.
especially
And
now with the new administration being
yeah,
in, we
yes.
are definitely being tried in the fire. So I just think that
We
this is
have
a
seen
time.
we have all seen this before.
Absolutely.
It's nothing
Well,
new under the sun. And
absolutely.
it doesn't matter who is in the office because God is still on the throne.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. But
All
thank
right.
you so
Well,
much for your time.
absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. Or again, all the best with the new single. And
Thank
thanks for being on the Indie Video Show.
thank you so much.
All right. All right. That was Dr. Alecia Garrick. And that's going to be it for this episode of the Indie Video Show. I want to thank Dr. Garrick for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, or like your brands and services to be advertised and promoted on the show, or if you want your video to be featured on the show, send an email to kanmusicpub@gmail.com. Again, that's kanmusicpub@gmail.com. Subscribe to the Minds of Creativity YouTube channel, which is a part of the All Sports All Plays network, so you can check out the rest of the content and so you can get the alert when new episodes are available. You can become a patron on my Patreon page. Just go to patreon.com/ANYKENY to get exclusive access to new content and free show merchandise. Or you can order your merchandise at the online store, which is KANMcollective.threadless.com. Again, that's KANMcollective.threadless.com. Shout out to all my patrons and people who have ordered merchandise. Really appreciate your support. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Coach_ANYKENY and follow me on social media at Coach_ANYKENY on X, TikTok, and Instagram, and on my Facebook music page, Any Key Music, which is spelled capital ANY, capital KE, lowercase b, lowercase n, and capital Y. So until next time, remember, be positive on purpose. This show is dedicated to the memory of my late mother-in-law, Miss Emma Freeman Mobley. Rest in peace, Mom. Love you.